Strong winds and heavy rain pounding Sacramento tonight. Take a look at how much these trees are being pushed around here. Many people without power tonight, and those high winds are a major factor. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this New Year's Eve. I'm Luke Clary. The storm's so severe that Sacramento County has issued a state of emergency, essentially a way to allocate faster relief to areas that have been impacted by flooding and the wind. Here's the other big story tonight. Take a look at this SMUD outage map. More than 140,000 customers without power right now in Sacramento County alone tonight. Winds as strong as 55 miles per hour have been recorded by the Sacramento International Airport. And one of the areas that we are watching closely tonight is Wilton in Sacramento County. The Office of Emergency Services has issued a shelter-in-place order for people living there. And that's where our Becca Habegger is tonight, keeping an eye on some of the hardest hit areas as State Route 99 was closed.
I'm here at the Wackford Community Center in Elk Grove, which is serving as an emergency shelter for flood evacuees from Wilton and the surrounding area. There's a small handful of people who are making use of this tonight, but for the most part, people are sheltering at home. This was the scene Saturday evening along Dillard Road, just off Highway 99. It's one of the main roads that runs through Wilton, but from this point, I was still about 6 miles southwest of Wilton because floodwater had turned this road into a raging river. All evening, I watched as people coming out of Wilton and surrounding areas drove through the floodwater to get to Highway 99. But some, like Eddie Dingler, wanted to drive the opposite direction.
My niece lives back in there, and her house is getting flooded. It's not flooded yet, but I want to try to get back in there to her before it does take on water. I mean, very frustrated. I mean, I can't even get back and, get my loved one out of there, out of the situation.
He eventually drove through and tells me he successfully connected with his niece. This woman, who didn't want to give her name, waited anxiously for her father. They live in Elk Grove, and he was delivering groceries in the area when his car got stuck in the floodwater. A local business owner was driving him to reunite with his family.
He was trying to deliver groceries to the household, and then unfortunately his car was stuck in the middle of the waters, so we cannot get out. Frustrating.
Frustrating, yeah, tell me more.
And worry.
Shortly after we spoke, the father made it back safely. They are reunited now. I couldn't get to Wilton, but this photo illustrates why the Sacramento County Office of Emergency Services turned the evacuation warning issued around 1:30 Saturday afternoon into a shelter-in-place order just 2 hours later, since the roads in Wilton became impassable as the Cosumnes River flooded. The Wackford Community Center at 9014 Bruceville Road in Elk Grove will remain open all night for flood evacuees.
We do have the ability to house many, and so if they show up, we're ready for them. We have kennels for their pets, etc., for small pets.
I spoke with a couple here tonight who didn't want to go on camera, but they say they had to get rescued from their vehicle. They say they got stuck when they tried to drive through a flooded roadway. They are safe, luckily, along with their dog, but they say their vehicle is somewhere out there in the floodwater tonight.